I think I think even the MAGA crowd senses what's the word? I mean, just fraud, right?
Yeah.
Like one of the reasons I think they're booing Dr. Oz is because they know he's been on record in the past, right?
Yeah.
Statements in support of abortion, against gun rights, against fracking. He as he's a doctor, he's on record as saying there's no such thing as a heartbeat at 6 weeks. And so now, of course, he's doing his usual, they're doing that stupid MAGA flip where he tries to be as Trumpy as possible. And I think with him and J.D. Vance, people aren't going to buy it.
No.
They're not going to win.
Those are the things that are going to cost him elections.
Yeah. Oz was booed at a rally headlined by Trump, who was there.
Yeah.
Right? Prior to Oz's speech, the former TV doctor was booed during an introductory video in which he shared his stance against abortion. He said, "I'm pro-life. Life starts at conception. That's how I feel." He was met with a chorus of boos because they know he's lying.
Yeah. Right.
Okay. By the way, we were saying that the Republicans just become a bunch of random sounds.
Yes.
So we just thought maybe we should combine Madison Cawthorn and Trump from.
Oh my, oh my, oh my,
Cleoing. Cleoing.
Your ass is oh my,
Cleoing.
oh my,
Cleoing.
Right. I think peoing is the sound that Madison Cawthorn makes at the end of one of his "Oh my ya."
That's one of his hairs uncurling.
Face humping of a friend, cousin, person.
Face meet ass.
Right.
Yeah.
As you do when you greet a friend naked. Okay.
A cousin.
Sean
Yeah,
Parnell.
cousin.
Oh.
A cousin scheduler,
Sean
like a brother.
Parnell. Who is he? He's the one of the, I'm going to say domestic abuser, somebody.
I
that
think he
Trump
was, yes.
Previously
I think
was,
you have that one correct.
Previously was endorsed by Trump.
Yes.
Yes. He tweeted, "I'm disappointed by this. Dr. Oz is the antithesis of everything that made Trump the best president of my lifetime. He's the farthest thing from America first," and he agreed with him. Mo Brooks, who was not Trumpy enough because I guess he implied maybe we should move on from the election. He said everybody telling Trump who to endorse in the primary works for the swamp. They played him again. Okay. Mike Pompeo, meanwhile, former Secretary of State, announced he'd be giving a press briefing related to significant national security concerns related to Oz's candidacy. He says he will focus on unanswered questions about Dr. Oz's close ties to the Turkish government and military. Oz has dual citizenship. He spent 2 years in the Turkish military, and he voted in the 2018 Turkish presidential election, even though he insisted he's never been politically involved in Turkey in any capacity.
He flew to Turkey to vote in their elections.
Right. One security expert said the decision to vote in a foreign country's election is problematic from a security clearance perspective. Trump's endorsement of Oz has rankled many of his own supporters, as evidenced by the boos at the... Wow.
Turkey's leader has a pretty Trumpy past and present. Wonder if Oz voted for Turkey's leader Erdogan.
I don't. Okay. One of the doctors I follow on Twitter said abortion as a supply chain issue for domestic infant supply was not on my bingo card. Yeah, that was also not on mine. Molly tweets, there are over 400,000 children in foster care in the United States right now. What specific shortage of adoption candidates could Coney Barrett possibly be referencing? You know what she's referencing. White babies.
Yes.
Duty to Warn says Clarence Thomas said without irony that pro-choice women are unwilling to, quote, live with the outcomes they don't agree with when his wife tried to overturn an election whose outcome she didn't agree with. Okay, I mentioned that earlier, but...
It's accurate.
And did I mention vote, vote, vote? Have I mentioned that?
Yes.
Eric Swalwell said, we barely saved the country from Trump in 20. Biden narrowly won the Electoral College. Senate's even. The House is +4. We've made progress, but do you really think this was an opportunity to deliver an FDR-like agenda? We need a bigger majority. Thank you. Yes, and let's all be improv artists.
Mm-hmm. Sure.
Oh, here's a nostalgic fun fact.
Okay.
Uh-oh.
Oh, I don't know who said. Kate said that guy, Goldwater.
Oh, yeah.
Barry Goldwater's wife, Peggy, was a founding member of Planned Parenthood in Arizona. George H.W. Bush, as a Republican congressman from Houston, spoke so frequently on the House floor about family planning, he was tagged with the nickname Rubbers. Did not know those historical, nostalgic fun facts.
Old name for condoms?
Yeah, that's an old-timey name for
condoms.
condoms.
I know the term, but I'm just thinking for W.
And all the original, the 5 of the original justices that wrote Roe v. Wade were all appointed by Republicans. So don't talk to me anymore about how the Democrats have moved left. Republicans have moved off the right cliff of the United States of America. Am I right, Sue, in Rockville? Hello.
You are always right,
Thank
Stephanie.
you.
I've
Thank
learned
you.
how to say
Thank
that.
you. Thank you.
We need to play Mad Libs Trump. And we just, we call for a sound. And we go, pyong.
Pyong.
We call for a noun. And we just pick any
Pyong
part of the
you.
language.
Yeah.
Pyong.
Which
you.
country?
Pyong you.
Mexico, Russia, Ukraine,
By the way, it's
China.
not to
It
be.
doesn't matter.
It is not to be confused with, which is the windmills that cause windmill. That causes windmill cancer.
Yeah.
That is different than.
And the other random sounds he and his body make.
Yeah.
But what you were just saying, this is really important. We have to stop using.
Pardon me. We didn't mean to
We
interrupt
not-
you.
we
That was
should stop
juvenile,
using
Chris.
their language. Okay, we could go on with noises all day, and I have two little ones who would happily join you with blah blah blah, which is
All
what
right.
Gabby says at 10 months, blah,
Okay.
blah, which is what I
All
hear.
right, Sue. Let's
every
move
time
on.
you talk.
Okay, we're having adult
Yes,
talk now.
listen.
Go ahead.
Here's the adult part. We need to stop using their language. There is not one pro-life Republican in the party. They are
No.
anti-choice zealots. They are a death cult. They want women to die. They want forced birth and, for their domestic white babies. And they don't give a damn. There's nothing pro about them except death. Because everything they do, everything they say, and everything they vote for worships death, destruction, and harm, anti-democratic rules. So we've got to get everyone out to vote. At the end of the day, it comes down to people being woke to vote. I don't know how we can do that. And the other thing, Olivia Rodrigo, who's a new big hot pop sensation, she passionately spoke at her last concert about being pro-choice, about kids getting out to vote. U2 just had a surprise performance in Ukraine.
They did.
Yeah.
That was
supporting
amazing.
democracy. There is a lot of power in our performing artists and our actors, and they need to come out and they need to show everyone who loves them, because the good guys happen to be all on our side.
Yeah, it is true. In fact, I almost asked Terry Hatcher if she'd come on to talk about Roe, but I held off. But now
Well,
let's ask her.
Alyssa-
All right. Yeah, Alyssa Milano. We need to get Alyssa back on.
We're
She's out
working
there
on that.
fighting the good fight. But yeah, I saw at the I saw my friend Caroline Ray, who is hilarious. Who I did
Aw.
stand up with 1,000 years ago. Was there at the Greek Saturday night with Terry Hatcher, who I got to say hello to.
The last time I saw Terry Hatcher was at the Saban.
That's right. I made her laugh really hard because I wasn't thinking, and I said to Caroline, how come you aren't up there? And she said, oh, well, I'm an ally. I'm like, oh, I forgot. You like D. I forgot about
And
that.
Terry laughed.
Terry laughed very hard. I was like, oh, that's right. Because
Yes.
it was only gay. It was just gay performers.
Yeah.
She's an ally that likes D. Good for her.
A lot of female allies do like D.
Yes. Okay, by the way, Jill Biden in Ukraine, speaking of Ukraine, that was fantastic to show support for its people. The First Lady of Ukraine said, we all feel your support. We all feel the leadership of the U.S. president. She said it was courageous of Biden to make the trip. I thought that was fantastic.
Beautiful.
That gave me hope. And also, Patron, you bomb-sniffing dog, who's a good boy.
Named after my favorite tequila.
He's the best boy. He's a Ukrainian bomb-sniffing. Did you see him?
I did.
Patron?
Yes.
He was honored yesterday. A little dog named Patron. His name means ammo in Ukrainian. He helps sniff out Russian mines and explosives and acts as a mascot.
Come here, Ammo. Come here, Ammo.
No, it's Patron.
I like Patron better.
Let's take a bite. He is most definitely
Would
a good boy.
Steve sniff out ordinances?
No,
Okay.
he would not.
He'd sniff out biscuits.
If I put a biscuit in the ordinance.
I see. Okay.
The Russians were not supposed to put biscuits in the bombs.
If the landmine had Dr. Marty's,
Oh, yeah.
sprinkle it.
That's terrible.
Some dynamite on it.
Who lures Colonel Steve to his death? What's wrong with you? Wes in Wisconsin. Hello, Wes.
Hi, Steph.
Hi.
Speaking of warnings, I fear that the Supreme Court decision is far more ominous than just applying to abortion. It could be sending a signal to Merrick Garland that if you have a trial, Trump is found guilty, and he comes in front of us, we're going to pronounce him innocent. It could be a signal to the Republican state legislators and Secretary of States that if you feel a fraud has happened, in, let's say, the upcoming elections, you have the right to replace the Democrat with the Republican. So what you've got is you've got a blue wave of Democrats winning, but not being allowed to get seated. I also think the person that released that information was Ginny Thomas, because there's no consequences.
There's a lot more
for her.
speculation, actually, that it is maybe, I don't know if it's her specifically, but a right winger. I'd forgotten about the leak to the Wall Street Journal previous to the political leak, and that leans a lot more right. And they think it's Kavanaugh that was getting wobbly. That was what the leak was earlier. That they already speculated Alito was writing it and was trying to get people, enough votes in line, and that it's a conservative that leaked it to make sure that there's pressure and the 5 votes don't go wobbly.
There's actually new reporting from the Washington Post this morning that went into a deep dive on the decision-making process. That it's just starting to bubble up, but they're leaning towards the fact that it was a leak from the right.
Oh, and will Ted Cruz and Mitch McConnell be out in front again about prosecuting that person to the fullest extent of the law, and they spend the rest of their life in prison?
Don't depend on that.
No, if it's Ginny Thomas, no, that'll be not. Won't be operative.
It won't be mentioned again.
Okay. All right. Speaker Pelosi.
There has been a single focus on the part of the Republicans, and I put some of all of this at the doorstep of Mitch McConnell. Mitch McConnell had over and above his priority to put justices on the court that would overturn a woman's right to choose. It was not only how people voted for president, but was how they voted in the Senate. I do think that once we win in this election in November, which we fully intend to do, and we have a couple more senators who are pro-choice, will be able to enshrine Roe v. Wade as the law of the land. And that means we have to win 2 more who are pro-choice, but also who are willing to pull back the filibuster in order to do that with 51 votes.
Thank you.
Yes.
Oh my God, we can do this. By the way, I believe them when they tell you who they are. Mitch McConnell told us, America, that we are a crock, that he is going to vigorously, if they take back power. That's,
Can you hear a peeling?
We are the crock in this scenario. We are going to get pyonged again. Okay. So with all eyes on the Supreme Court overturning Roe v. Wade expectedly, Mitch McConnell offered his thoughts on what could happen in January if Republicans win back the Senate.
Yeah, this is neat.
What Chris just played. Mitch McConnell has said a national abortion ban is possible if the Supreme Court overturns Roe. It would depend on where the votes are, McConnell said. With regard to the abortion issue, I think it's pretty clear where Senate Republicans stand. If and when the court makes a final decision, I expect everybody will be more definitive, but I don't think it's much secret where Senate Republicans stand on the issue. Columnist Molly Young-Fast said Republicans went from states' rights to no rights head-spinningly fast. So in case you're wondering how bad this can it get worse? Yes, it can if we don't all turn out in massive numbers, right?
Yep.